Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
This is the Digital Asset Investor, and I am way behind schedule today. I actually got just got busy. My kids are working working. Yeah, I wish they were working. They're doing schoolwork at home right now, doing the virtual school thing, and my son is doing baseball. So we've had a very full schedule. Okay, so I want to show you this from BondCrypt. The Indian government is proposing a plan to ban all private cryptocurrencies in the country. The authorities are also planning to introduce a central bank digital currency. Now, the only comment I have on this is that since I started covering since I started this channel, this is probably about the 5th or the 10th time that the Indian government has announced that it was proposing to ban crypto. And also, you could put in line China, Russia, and several other countries all have said that they were going to ban crypto at one time or another, or there's just been an article about it. This has been, in my opinion, market manipulation at its finest. We've seen it over and over and over. And so I don't think anything of this when I see an article like that. Okay, Canadian XRP sent me this. Now, everybody, when we were asleep last night, and I told you I rolled over in bed a few times in the middle of the night. And let me comment on something while I'm thinking about it. I just noticed this. Actor Dustin Diamond has died at age 44. I think he had lung cancer. That's the guy that played Screech on Saved by the Bell. And many of you watched that growing up. I did. That was, I guess, when I was in maybe high school, college, that was going on, I think. But that was a show that was very popular in my part of the world. Anyway, today XRP reached around 74 cents. So that was, I guess, early in the morning and last night. It hit up against 74 cents. When suddenly someone opened a short of more than 80 million, price fell to 56 cents, reached about 63 cents, then went south. And now, I don't even remember what it's at now. I think it's in the 30-cent range. Lesson learned here, folks. We're not here for pump and dumps, and we don't talk about that kind of stuff on this channel because I don't even think it's legal, but B, this XRP is a world-changing technology. The Ripple net and all this, it's world-changing technology. This is a much bigger thing than some silly pump and dump or pump and hold, whatever you want to call it, that's going to last for a few hours and then go right back south. That is not what this channel is about. But I do want to point out, I do want to make this point. I've been in this space a while now, and what I've learned is anytime that there's an anticipation of one thing, you can count on the opposite. If people are thinking that something that's coming out 5 days from now, some announcement or whatever is going to drive the price of XRP up, you can pretty much bet your bottom dollar that it's going to drive the price down. I mean, that's pretty much, this space works in opposites like that. So this is no different. Now, I did want to show you a reply to this tweet that I thought it was funny. It's somebody had snapshotted when the price had hit 666, and they said XRP meets devil. I thought that right there has got to be written on a thumbnail. I'm sure that'll get your attention. Okay, and then there was this. This is from the other day. Okay, no, actually, it's from today, I guess. Yeah, okay, yeah, I wanted to show you this. I don't know if I put this in the wrong spot. Oh, well, we'll go over it now. So I wanted to make the point that, so first we had the GameStop thing, and then I think people were driving the price of Dogecoin up, and then they tried to do the thing on XRP. Well, today also, the my understanding is that the Wall Street Bets people were trying to do the same to silver. Watch this.
Dan, Nathan, I'm just going to go right to you. I mean, your take on where this all may go.
Yeah, I don't think it goes much further. I mean, if you look at the fact that, this GameStop traded as high as $500, closed on Friday at $325, today closed at $225, down $100. It doesn't seem like those big shorts that this Reddit crew was targeting are short the stock anymore, okay? So if the company comes out and they decide to sell some stock and let insiders sell and their shorts don't need to cover, this thing is toast. And I'm not, this is not a call to action by anybody to start defending this position. It's just supply versus demand. In silver, it's a totally different ball of wax. I don't really think that these guys have a clear plan here, if there is a plan. So to me, I think we might be done with this trade. And as they move on to things that are harder to move around, like commodity markets, that sort of thing, where there's a lot of moving pieces, and regulatory action like they're likely to come swifter, it may just get harder and harder to do this. So I think we might be looking in the rear view mirror of this little movement here. And I don't mean to be dismissive about it. I know there's a lot of people who think that there's some very valid reasons for this group, or whoever they are, doing what they're doing. I'm just saying it gets harder from here to push around some of these risk assets.
Yeah, certainly. And Pete, very quickly, I know running out of time. Listen, the physical premium to paper, I think it was at a multi-year or all-time high. We had a bullion dealer on the exchange at 1 o'clock today who said, I'm sold out of physical silver. The problem people have, the fear that some people have, is the It's easy to buy a piece of paper, the SLV, right? It's a lot harder to actually hold coins in silver, and that dislocation has some people nervous. Are you?
No, I'm not nervous, but I bury myself in the derivatives world, and I'm telling you, we've seen nothing but option paper. Whether you want to talk about SLV or you want to talk SIL, SILJ, you can get actually into specific names like Pan American Silver, which has gone up to the upside, but specifically there's a couple other names. I think they're still targeting the same thing that they were targeting before, and I think Dan would agree with this. They are looking for high short interest and smaller market cap type names with less outstanding shares. And if they can find that and it works out, those are the names that have been working for them so far, as the Main Streeters are taking on Wall Street with this whole sort of, you guys called it a rebellion. It is a rebellion. It's a rebellion against Wall Street, and they're going after any stocks that they can find that fit into the category of what I just described.
Okay, so he's acting a little more like it's an actual issue. The other guy acted like it was a non-issue, but apparently it is somewhat of an issue, because the Zero Hedge put this out. CFTC will address potential threats to silver derivatives. Okay, now I want to point this out, because I don't know this. I may be wrong about this, and some of you out there can show me if I am. But I'm wondering right now if CNBC is floating a narrative, or is wanting to carry a narrative. Okay, if you watch just the very beginning of this, this is when they had one of the Winklevosses on. Listen to the first thing he says. This was when he was on. It was January 28th when he was on. Listen to the first thing he says.
I think this is the beginning of the end of centralized finance. I think if anyone thinks this is about just one stock or two stocks, they're mistaken. I think this is a much larger movement. I think it's a systemic issue, and I think that people need to fix it, or it's going to get much, much worse. I think this is a much larger issue in the thread of our country and its fragility and what's happening in the inequality, and frankly, the hypocrisy.
Okay, so the gist of it, he's trying to make the point that this is the beginning of the end of centralized finance. And the reason, I'm going to show you why I wonder if they're beginning to try to carry a certain narrative. They had Ja Rule, who is, I guess, a rapper. They had him on the show today. Now, I want to give you the caveat again. This guy, Ja Rule, may have tweeted what they say here, what comes up on the screen at some point. He may have tweeted it, or there may have been more to this interview than what I'm seeing here. This part of this interview right here is 5 minutes and 37 seconds where he was on CNBC, okay? Now, I looked through his tweets and I listened to this whole clip twice. I did not hear him say what they put on the screen and said that he said. And it made me wonder if this was a narrative that CNBC was putting up and that he didn't even say, which would lead me to believe that they're trying to carry a narrative. Now, like I said, he may have said it in some other clip that I didn't see, or he may have tweeted it, but I just wanted to show it to you. Watch what this is what he's saying, and I want you to watch what. All right, if I can get it to go, let me hit a refresh on that. See if we can get this thing working right. Okay. Come on, I don't want to. We don't want a. Let's skip that.
I love Robinhood.
Okay. Let's see if we can get to right here. Let's try this.
The money to cover, the actual money that was going through the platform, the margins. I don't think he had enough to cover the margins. So I think that's what's really what the freezing is about. I don't know, but it just looks like,
this right here. So I watched this entire interview, and not one time did he say what's on the screen right there in this interview. Now, like I said, there may be more to this interview. We're looking at 5 minutes and 37 seconds here. So if anybody out there finds that he did say this in another part, just let me know. And or if he tweeted it, because he didn't say it in the clip I saw, and I was sitting there going, well, why would they put something? Why would they have something that goes up on the screen that's written out if he didn't say it? Why are they trying to say? And I was wondering if they're trying to create a narrative and put it up there. So maybe we can get to the bottom of this mystery. Because it says, Ja Rule on Robinhood and Wall Street. This is going to drive people toward decentralized markets. Bitcoin will be the winner here. I didn't hear him say either one of those things. So maybe he said it somewhere else. But if he didn't say it somewhere else, then why are they putting it up on the screen? That's my question. Okay. Steve Gulbranson had put this out today. When is a platform going to be developed that can truly handle high volume? It does not exist now. I think he makes a good point here, and I guess he's referencing the fact that all these platforms go down every time the volumes pick up. You have to wonder something, folks, and I don't really wonder it. I'm almost certain. Maybe the plan all along was to hand off this torch to the traditional financial guys. Look at this. This is an article from January the 15th. Goldman Sachs to enter crypto market soon with custody play. Goldman, JP Morgan, and Citi are all said to be looking at crypto custody. And Goldman down here, they said that it will be evident soon. We also know that Polysign was supposed to launch in 2020, and we don't hear a peep out of them. It's the most secretive custody project in the world that I'm aware of. We haven't heard a peep. Nobody says anything. Somebody is going to be handling the back-end custody for these big, huge banks. But my point here is this. All of these ups and downs, all this stuff everybody's looking at, XRP going to 74 cents and then crashing and everybody's upset and all that, it all means nothing. You know it's time when they announce this. This article is from January 15th, and Goldman said it would be evident soon. Nothing happens in finance without Goldman and JP Morgan. When you see it, it's on like Donkey Kong. And I want to make the point here, and other people have said this too. It is possible that XRP is deemed a security. It is possible that these are the guys that are going to be custodying. Some of these guys right here will be the ones that get to. Look, folks, if you really believe that this is the great wealth transfer, I believe it is. If you really believe that this is the great wealth transfer, and we know that Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and all these huge financial firms rule the world. And we also know, because I've shown you 1,000 times on this channel, we also know that everybody at the heights of power, from the White House to Congress to SEC, Federal Reserve, FDIC, OCC, they're all Harvard people. They're all Goldman Sachs. They're all in and out. JP Morgan, they're all in the same club. Look at Ripple. They've got JP Morgan people, Goldman Sachs, CME Group. It's all the same people, folks. It's very naive to think that these are not the people that control the world and will continue to control the world. That's life. Get used to it. So to believe that there's going to be a great wealth transfer and that those assets are going to transfer to anywhere but these powerhouses is really naive, to be honest. Very naive. I don't believe that for a second. I've always believed that the assets are going to fall into the arms of the people that rule the world. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Citigroup, all the big players, or at least some large portion of that great wealth transfer. Write it down, folks. It's just naive to think otherwise. Okay, and I just wanted to point this out. I was looking around about JP Morgan, and this is an interesting thing. Bob Way is a guy who was one of the first 10 people at Ripple. He popped up in the XRP community a year or two back and did interviews. He was online. He was on XRP chat. He was all over the place. Well, and I think he left because he had a health issue or something like that. And this tweet right here caught my attention today. I was looking around for Bob Way and if he had anything to say about some of these guys. Interestingly, this is from Anders L. Interestingly, Bob Way also mentioned that Ripple was not in competition with JP Morgan. Do you know when the Shane Ellis comments were written? JP Morgan, who are extremely intelligent, by the way, are not in competition with Ripple with their IIN. This can be used for internal treasury and as a transfer ledger in other banks, but at the end of the day, they need to use XRapid, which is now ODL, if they want to move funds with instant settlement outside their own circle. And then there was this reply down here, which I think is also Bob Way. JP Morgan, because you named them, isn't really competing with Ripple. They have had their own internal blockchain team for several years. It used to be run by Amber Baldette, who I met with on several occasions while working at Ripple. She is an amazingly smart leader and was very gracious to me personally. She referring us up the chain to her bosses several times for very productive meetings. And yes, Ripple did meet with those guys, with JP Morgan, I think, as I recall, at Ripple's headquarters back in the day. XRP Crypto Wolf Ripple is hiring a managing director for RippleNet Europe. Ripple managing director for RippleNet Europe will support government relations activity in the region. And then Ashish Burla tweets this. Been thinking about identity as a blockchain use case recently. With this latest blog from World Economic Forum regarding a potential global vaccine passport, let's consider what a blockchain-based version of this would look like. And he goes through this whole thread. Now, I was going to point out, I talked about this the other day. Greg Kidd, his company is Global ID, and I think that they're setting up to be able to do this kind of thing right now as well. Finally, I want to show you this. This is what we've been needing from James Rule. Fine wines become first tokenized securities under new Swiss blockchain law. They're going to be putting fine wine on the blockchain. You're going to be able to invest in tokens that represent fine wine ownership. That is cool. I've mentioned this before. You're going to be able to do this with antique cars, whatever your thing is. It'll be commercial, all kinds of real estate where are going to be tokenized. That's the world we're going into, and it's an exciting world. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that soon it's going to be on like Donkey Kong, because you are going to see the Goldman Sachs and the JP Morgan getting into the custody business, and that is when you're going to know that the great wealth transfer has begun. Thank you for listening.